video is about how to make your own baby food and how to store it, which is a lot of times the trickier part. It's very, very easy to make your own baby food. The trick is just managing how to store it and knowing what to do with it after you have this bucket of goo. You know, what do you store it in? How do you administer it to your baby? That kind of thing. So, I've already made some carrots and some green beans that I'll use in some examples. And so now I'm about to make some peas. And I just used canned vegetables, and I don't cook them again. I don't steam them or anything like that. So if you're looking for organic baby food, that's not this. This is the same kind of vegetables you would eat yourself. So just your own canned vegetables. So here's the peas I'm going to use, just regular canned peas. And I'm going to use a blender, and I'm going to chop them until they're about the consistency of a fruit smoothie. And with my particular blender, I have found that just the right liquid content is if I dump out the water out of one of the cans of vegetables and add the other amount of water into the blender. So there's the ones that I dumped the water out of. And here's the ones with water. And you can play with that yourself, figure out what consistency you want to make your baby food, which will then affect how much rice cereal you want to add to your baby food, and how your baby likes it. Do they like to drink their supper, or do they like to feel like they chewed it like oatmeal or something like that? So, let's see here. We just put it in, and off we go. While it's blending, sometimes the blades are running so fast that gravity doesn't have time to pull the stuff back down to the blades, and so it all just sits up there with this bubble underneath there. And so if you turn it off, and sometimes you have to poke the bubble with, whatever it is you're using to clean out your blender, and then it'll go back down. I'll try to show you that now. Did you see it pop and go back down? Now maybe it'll pop itself, because right now it's just sitting on top of that bubble. That went. Sometimes you can also just give it a good hard shake. Once it's rolling really good, really nicely in there, then it's done. And there we go. We've got ourselves some baby food. So now the baby food is made and finished, and then it's just a matter of storing it. And to think about how you want to store it, think about how you're going to use it next. What I usually do is keep it in a jar like this, or a jar like this if I'm just going to keep it in the fridge. Like these two will be the ones I use for the next few days. So I'll just take a spoon and rake some into a coffee cup, regular coffee cup. Just a regular coffee cup. And you microwave it for 30 seconds. And then stir and stir and stir. Make sure there's no uneven heating like they always warn you about. And add in your rice cereal as you need it. And then you can just feed the baby straight out of that. Rice cereal does turn into cement, so try to rinse your cup sooner than later. Other ways to store your baby food, if you're going to freeze it, is in smaller containers. I have a whole lot of little 1-cup containers, like this right here. These are my carrots that I keep it in. And there's 4 of those, and I'm about to put these peas in some as well. And I just label them very simply on the top with just whatever kind of sticker I have. There's carrots and the date. And these are just old stickers that I've got there's anything that sticks. Another thing about labeling the little containers that are this size is when you put the label on the top, do stick it on the top. That way, if it does come unstuck in the freezer somehow, it's still laying on top. Depending on how unreliable or reliable your stickers are, you may want to put another piece of tape on your sticker just to make sure it sticks there. But if it's on top, you're not likely to lose it. If you're worried about freezer burn, with them being in the freezer for too long, you can also just put this whole little container in a zipper top freezer bag. Just, however many fit in there, and just zip it up, and that'll give you one more layer of protection. Every layer of plastic you put around something helps prevent freezer burn. So I never had a problem with it because I was using them too fast. But if you're going to do a whole mass of them and put them all in the freezer at once, you may want to think about doing that. You've probably heard people talk about putting their baby food in ice cube trays and then freezing the ice cubes, and I did that for a while, and but it was very time intensive because you made the baby food and you put it all in there, and then you set it in the freezer, and then you pop it back out of the freezer, out of the ice trays, into a bag, and then you store that bag, like a gallon-sized bag of green bean ice cubes. It is really handy if you want to mix your vegetables on the fly, or if you've realized that your child hates lima beans, and you can put 1 cube of lima beans in a whole thing of green beans, and in a whole day's worth of green beans, and they won't notice it as much. But you could also just pitch the lima beans. It got to be more trouble than it was worth. I am a stay-at-home mom now, so I don't have to do that. It was handy to come home in the evenings and just say, what do we want to feed the baby? Carrots, and defrost like 4 ice cubes and go. So you can do that. That didn't turn out working really well for me, but you can always try it. Just don't spend much on your ice cube trays. You can also put it in jars like these. I'm always using quart jars for everything. And just don't fill it up all the way, and you could freeze it in that. You can also freeze them in these plastic bins like this. Don't fill them up all the way, and then freeze them, and you can label them. And if you want to store them in old baby food jars that you still have from when you bought baby food, then that's, of course, perfectly fine as well. Here's the little bowls, and I'm going to put these in. I'm going to put these peas in. Here's Thomas. And in between batches, like right now I've done carrots and then green beans and then peas, what I usually do is I just rinse out the blender. I don't wash it. I put water in it and blend that, and that gets rid of most of the vegetables from the previous one, from the previous blending. But it's not really a crime if some of the carrots get into the peas, because if your child has already eaten both carrots and peas, then it's perfectly fine. You're probably going to feed them mixed vegetables soon anyway. So, and if you want to combine your own and make your own mixing, like peas and carrots, or if you later on when you want to add in chicken or something like that out of a jar, I don't recommend trying to make your own baby food meat. It just never really worked out well for me. But you can mix your own vegetables and make your own, like turkey dinner. You've seen those in the grocery store and that kind of thing. You can make those yourself for a lot cheaper just by making your own baby food at home. And I forget how much Gerber packages are going for right now, but like I got here 4 cups of peas for probably 90 cents. That's probably how much I paid for the peas, was 90 cents. So I'm pretty sure that you can't get a whole package for 90 cents. I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. So you save yourself a lot of money, and it's good canned vegetables that you've been feeding to your family anyway. So that is how I make and store my baby food. Hope this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment or send me an email or something like that. So I hope it's been helpful.